Game of Thrones, Season 4, Episode 3, Breaker of Chains. We start off from the end of last episode. Joffrey's dead on the floor, Cersei screaming for Sansa, but Sansa's already been taken away by Sir Dontos, who's leading her to a ship waiting for them. And on that ship is Sir Petyr Baelish. And he rewards Sir Dontos with an arrow to the face, explaining to Sansa that they can't trust anybody. Was it Petyr Baelish who killed Joffrey? With all the information we have right now, it could be anybody. But at least Sansa is finally getting away from King's Landing. She, more than anybody, deserves to get away from there. Over to our favorite pairing in Westeros, Arya and the Hound. Thanks to her quick thinking, they have a bed to sleep in for the night and some food. And how does the Hound thank their hospitality? By robbing the farmer and their daughter. And his reasoning? They were gonna die in the winter anyways. Obviously the Hound knows how Westeros works. We also get a great scene where we see Tywin work his manipulated ways. Cersei can only watch as he goes up to Tommen, who's Joffrey's younger brother and next in line to be the king, and asks him what does it make to be a good king, and he says outright that Joffrey was a bad king, don't do what he did, and it takes him away to work on him some more. There is no doubt that Tywin rules the kingdom through his family. But if we do have to have a Lannister in charge, I wouldn't mind it being Tommen. He doesn't seem anywhere as sadistic at all, like Joffrey was. He seems nice. But, to be honest, I don't want a Lannister in charge. But who else can rival their power? Except for Stannis, but right now he's broke and he needs soldiers. So he's off on his island scheming with Sir Davos about how to get them. We had two relationships in this episode that disbanded to protect the other. We had two relationships in this episode disbanded to protect the other. We had two relationships in this episode that disbanded to protect the other. One being Tyrion and Pod, who, like Shae, he sent away so that he wouldn't risk their lives over him. And the other is Sam and Gilly. And in Sam's word, he said Gilly wouldn't be safe in the wall where there's one woman, 100 other men who think of her when they go to bed. Which leads me to the controversial scene of this episode involving Jaime and Cersei. When Cersei's mourning the loss of Joffrey, Jaime comes in and obviously he wants to do some stuff with her, but Cersei's not up to it. So he forces herself upon her. Game of Thrones has always been controversial in stuff they do. Torture, beheading, orgy, name anything and it's probably be in there. The scene that I'm talking about goes into that area of the stuff that makes people uncomfortable. The uproar that was caused from this was for various reasons, like the subject matter itself, how they interpreted from the book, and how it just pushed away all of Jaime's character development from the last season. Honestly, the scene was odd, and I saw it as rape. I mean, she said no, and he didn't care. But that's all I want to go into it. I'm not good with talking about this sort of thing, but you can form your own opinion on this sort of thing. Just go online and search for interviews with the actors, directors. There's some good ones up there that talk about how they saw the episode. Even George R.R. Martin talked about the scene on his own blog. So feel free to look that up for your own opinion, but this definitely brought a lot of controversy with it. But I can't end the review without talking about Daenerys. She arrives to a large city, and after Daario makes quick work of their champion, she catapults large barrels over their walls, and they crack open, revealing old slave collars from the slaves that she freed. And this is basically saying to the other slaves, hey, if you revolt, you can join me, and you'll be free. The last shot of the episode was a great one, with a slave picking up a collar and the master looking on. We all can figure out where this will lead to for the next episode.